Hi, guys. We're back on another public bench. And I have to admit, this is the first public picnic bench. And I'm here together with Kristen. Welcome. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And I'm excited to start this week like this. I want to say thank you, Kristen, because she brought some tea. Right there. And which is super lovely because that keeps us warm on this Monday. I'm going to listen to the viewers and listeners and say, hey, this time I'm going to keep the introduction short. So you probably already know what Good Place is about. This is going to be episode number 20. And I'm here with Kristen, who is an entrepreneur of Plot Twist Placemaking. And she's going to tell us all about what that is and what that means. And I'm going to give the word to you and ask you, hey, please tell us a bit more about you. Where are we at? Because I think that's also very exciting. And love to hear more about you.
All right. Well, I mean, Robin, this is our first time reconnecting in a while, because we met now over 6 years ago through A City Made by People, and that was during my first time living here in Amsterdam, and now 5.5 years back living here, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit more what's going on in my life with Plot Twist Placemaking and Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. So what do you think of Amsterdam?
Well, I've been here for 5.5 years, so I guess
and you're still
I
here.
guess it's treating me well. Yeah, I'm very happy to be living here and working here and having that flexibility. Right now we're in the beautiful Marina Terrein location with my office just over there. And this space as well is very special because, if you know a little bit about the history of Marina Terrein, you would know that this used to be the destination for the Old Navy to live and work from, and now it's been transformed in sort of an innovation district. So there's a bunch of really cool companies here that are doing nice work in urban planning and science, innovation, all this kind of fun stuff. So we're in a good place, one would say.
But it's crazy to think that they had a Navy area, Marines here in the middle of Amsterdam, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, quite. Why would they, of all places, do it in the middle of Amsterdam?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, as you can see, we're on the water right here, so they have some pretty good access.
Yeah. There's no Marine or Navy ships around here. So now they're gonna, rebuild the area into something else, right?
Yeah, they have some big plans, especially for the upcoming 10 years. And this is really an experiential ground where they can test a lot of those kind of innovations and changes.
Well, thanks for bringing me here. I got a nice Nemo museum at the background. I don't know if you can see. There's even an old ship there, but I don't know if I don't think you're gonna see it. Yeah, maybe. And the sun is shining, so we're in a good position here. Yeah. But where are you from, Kristen, originally?
So I'm originally from Stoney Creek, Ontario.
For all those people who know about Stoney Creek.
Yeah, so Stoney Creek is, it's now part of a larger city called Hamilton, which is about an hour away from Toronto.
Okay.
So, I'm originally from Stoney Creek, and then moved to Toronto for my studies, and then I moved here.
Okay. Why Amsterdam?
You know what? That is a question
You just close your eyes and pick the spot on the map.
It actually came from a conversation with a friend also sitting at a bench. And she had been to Amsterdam before. She also is an expat living abroad in Spain.
Okay.
And I was in that sort of I was in a point in my life where I was really feeling inspired to live abroad for a short period of time. And she said, you know what? You would love Amsterdam. Everyone is, super nice. People are cycling around, lots of green spaces, lots of music, this kind of stuff. I think I could totally see you basically living there. So
she was not working for the city marketing department of Amsterdam. Okay.
No, but actually, so it just really came from a recommendation from a friend who knew me really well and suggested it. And next thing you know, I landed this 6-month working holiday, and the rest is history.
Rest is history. But then you also decided after such an experience to come back.
Yeah. So, well, with the sort of, I did at the time. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, before it gets cold,
Cheers.
Cheers. What kind of tea are we drinking?
We're drinking like apple beetroot nutty tea. It's actually from Canada.
Really?
It's a specialty. It's my favorite tea. It's called Forever Nuts.
Forever.
So cheers to being forever nuts.
That's hilarious. So if I start to act up a bit weird and, during there's a conversation,
Exactly.
I blame it on the tea.
Exactly.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. What did you ask me again?
Yeah, we got a bit distracted. So after that short experience,
Oh yes, that's right.
you felt you were not done.
I felt I was not done, and also at the time I didn't have European citizenship.
Okay.
So after those 6 months working holiday, I went back to Canada and went through the process of getting my Slovenian citizenship. So my grandparents are Slovenian, and basically through that line,
Oh, wow.
I was able within I think I was back home in Canada for 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
To get that citizenship, and then I came back here.
You were committed.
I was on a mission. It's addicting almost living here.
Oh,
you
yeah?
know,
Okay.
It continues to draw me back.
Stoney Creek didn't do it.
Stoney Creek is a great place as well, but it's a little bit of a different. It's a different way of living, I would say.
Okay. No cycling.
No, not really.
Cars.
The bike lanes are they could use some. They can use a bike lane at least. That would be great.
That would be a mission.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and then 5.5 years. And what have you been up to?
So when I came back here, I started working a few different places within the shared living, shared working, I guess, environments. And that's also what has brought me eventually to Plot Twist Placemaking.
Yeah.
So I started working at a few different places that were mixing uses, inviting people from around the world, but also locals to their spaces. And I was also working eventually at a think tank doing research into shared spaces.
Okay.
So when I say shared spaces, I'm talking about co-living models, co-working models, hybrid hospitality, also, public spaces where different people
like
are
public
using.
squares.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And basically after some years working there and doing a lot of research and talking about trends in these spaces and founders, I felt really inspired to get my hands dirty a little bit and also take my chance at freelance work and becoming an entrepreneur and trying to run my own projects.
Nice. And what's your mission? What is that about shared spaces that really excites you?
Well, many things, but especially I think that the ability to make better use of space and make a greater impact in spaces by blending, not only the uses within one space, but also the users of the space. Yeah. Maybe people are going to be in contact that they otherwise wouldn't have. And also just thinking about space and how it changes throughout the day. In the morning time, it can be used for one purpose, in the afternoon, something else, in the evening, something else. Or, my phone is full of empty spaces that I see. Like, you know, even on the weekend, if I'm taking a bike ride, and I go by some office buildings and they're completely empty, and I'm just like, you know, what could be happening in there actually, and how can that? Oh, there's a dog.
Hey, doggy.
How can that, I guess, empty space bring value to more people?
Are there too many empty spaces?
Yes, there are. You know, I always say it's not in cities people talk a lot about lack of space, and I don't agree with it. I think there's lots of space. It's just there's not enough smart use of it.
Yeah.
And, you know, even rooftops have so much potential, untapped potential. And that's also something I'd love to dig deeper into.
Okay. And what about Amsterdam? Are there how are they go around public spaces and empty spaces?
Well, I love the Dutch because they have great autonomy over public spaces. I think anybody who's you know, walk down a neighborhood street in the spring or summertime, they see that their families have totally taken over the entire sidewalk for, you know,
a birthday party
or a lovely evening, or even going through the park. People have, you know, have their baby showers and special like anniversaries in the park. And
because they probably live too small to invite everyone over.
Yeah. But I really love that they, you know, when we talk about placemaking and sort of the collaborative approach to reimagining public space and giving autonomy to the surrounding neighborhood to help co-create it. Well, you can get a lot of inspiration from the Dutch because they are already doing it on their own without any sort of professional facilitation sometimes. Yeah,
so you actually take those observations or learnings here and then you try to apply them perhaps in different cities abroad. Yeah,
and also when we talk about buildings, you know, those are also spaces for potential blended use for private and public. And I think that's where actually there's a lot of potential to not only when we think of public space, thinking of, you know, squares and parks, but also indoors and, you know,
which of course are not that public.
Yeah, right now.
Right? Yeah.
But they could be.
That's interesting. Can I add one wish?
Tell me.
To put a public bench somewhere inside for those months in the winter and when it's raining.
Exactly.
Do you know there's no covered public bench? I've not found a covered, closed off public bench.
Something to
opportunities.
Okay. Unless maybe like that you have your partially sheltered public benches at the bus stop. You can have a talk there.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. That's still probably the only place that are covered. It's funny because I did some research last week and then got reminded about Tom Hanks, you know, Forrest Gump, who was sitting on a public bench. And he was not waiting for a bus. But all these buses, they just stopped by and then they moved on. And eventually he had to, you know, be somewhere around the corner. But during that, sitting there on the public bench, a lot of strangers just came to sit next to him. Yeah. And they started to have like conversations. We talked about this earlier, about my own mission. But yeah, I think that's, you know, those are pretty cool ideas. Absolutely. People are going to go there anyways. And I think another opportunity with we were talking about bus stops and those benches, like online you see places that have added a sharing book library to that. You know, then you can totally make a bus stop into a third space where people are just going to hang out and they don't even have a bus to catch. Yeah, interesting. Now you mention it, this whole third space thing. The other day I also got a quote that because of online, people start to fall back into that they really need a third space more than ever. whilst third spaces started to disappear at one point. Yeah, you get your home, and that's probably your office. But then, what's your third space? Should it be in public for people to hang around? You know, would that not add to making a city a better, perhaps more social place?
Absolutely. And a plus if there's some type of facilitation involved, programming going on in that public space. One of my favorite public spaces, and I guess you can also say it's also a third space as well, because people feel comfortable to go there, and whether they're working or catching up with a friend, yeah, it's a place where they can even kick their shoes off and put their feet up, is Bryant Park in New York City.
Okay.
And I think they did such an amazing job of not only, making the physical space somewhere where people feel comfortable, whether that be with, the mobile furniture or the, I don't know if you know this, but one of the main tactics that they put inside this park is this, 5-star bathroom for people to use instead of leaving the park to
Really?
find somewhere to go. It keeps them there, and they feel comfortable. And
Five
five star if he needs to use
in the middle of a square. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And that was one of the tactics, actually, like developers were really adamant on to keep people there. I mean, sometimes you go to a public space and actually there aren't those types of facilities that you feel completely comfortable or safe in.
And also, homeless people could make use of that.
Yeah. There's actually even somebody in there that's cleaning up.
So it's really service.
It's a service one. You if you look up online some photos, you would think that you're really at the Shangri-La.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because probably that is, I don't know, like for everyone who has a family with kids is a reason to leave, huh?
Exactly, and also what they have there, they have games for people of all ages to play. They have food and drink. They have programming. When we think about a good place, it's a place, first of all, where kids feel comfortable hanging out. It would be a place that's accessible for children, but also for seniors and older people that want to hang out with their buddies as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's when we talk about placemaking and public space and private shared spaces, we can really get a lot of inspiration from Bryant Park.
Yeah. And it's those little tactical things that make it, right? You don't have to come up with grand solutions. Just these little things that make people go there and,
Proper seating.
Yeah.
Just the basics, actually.
Yeah. I mean, that's a trend now here in it's covering the newspapers in the Netherlands. This hostile architecture, like putting away arm.
The arm
rests, because then people would not, or add an extra armrest so people could not lie in those public benches. Everything just to make sure that, these benches are used for the wrong reasons. I mean, that's not inviting for everyone to come and sit there,
Yeah.
So whereas at Bryant Park, you're doing the opposite, it makes it inclusive for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of just getting away from homeless people, no, you just actually put something there so they can also make use of it.
Yeah, exactly. And people also, I think people don't get enough credit. Not everything is going to get completely trashed if you put something nice somewhere, So I think that's something where we can maybe incorporate a little bit more trust when we are thinking about shared spaces and the use of space as well.
So you have a ton of ideas.
Ton of ideas, yeah.
You can hire her for all your spaces.
Please do.
Please do. No, but that's that should be your mission then, right? As Plot Twist.
Absolutely. I mean, the idea behind starting Plot Twist Placemaking was to help aid and activate vacant or underutilized spaces.
Yeah.
And use placemaking as sort of the main tactic to make it happen.
Yeah.
Because with placemaking, you're really gaining you're getting a lot of insights from the surrounding community, and with those insights, you can create spaces that are actually going to be of use. There's one thing to make like a very beautiful space, but it's another thing if you're actually bringing value based on the needs that were shared by the surrounding neighborhood.
Not just the urban planner who thinks, oh, let's place a table here or a bench there. Just actually consult the people.
Yeah, maybe there's a lot of, I don't know, seniors in the surrounding neighborhood and they don't have a place to bring their grandkids when they come to visit. Well, there's your perfect opportunity to create some type of family-friendly park or something like that, or, you know, like a little play place. So I think...
Where like grandparents can take a nap.
Yeah, exactly. Some very comfortable...
While taking care of their grandchildren. Okay.
You know?
Interesting. Yeah. So do you spend a lot of time in public, on a public space?
Yes. I live super close to Ooster Park. So in my mornings, I love to make a coffee and take my mug with me and go for my morning round in the park.
Nice.
And I love to start my day like that. And you also see regulars that are also there starting their day for a run or, you know, their morning walk as well. And you kind of do the head nod. You recognize?
Like, what up?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. And
that's interesting. Eh? So if you make it a more frequent thing, well, you show your face in public, then you get these connections.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And so I would say, I mean, with the morning starting that way, when I'm working, I have the office here at Medina Terrein, but I also enjoy working from, the library as well.
Yeah.
It's also a great place to work if I don't have some calls. And I think that we can, if parks had a little bit more of the some type of covering to block the shade, and maybe even had free Wi-Fi available, then we could work more outdoors and in public spaces.
Yeah,
that would be a great wish, especially in the summertime when you really want to be outside, but you're stuck in your air-conditioned office. And it would be, I think, even a more relaxing way to work and be part of the public space while you're working.
Could you say that people should enjoy public space more or be more conscious about it? If those facilities would be there, you know? Yeah.
I mean, you can go, if you're even meeting a friend, you can choose to go to a private cafe or so on, but you can also choose to grab your coffee and go for a walk in the park.
Yeah. I always like to observe how the behavior is in different cultures. Like if you go to Southern Europe, people are like sitting around a fountain or making more use of public space.
Yes.
I know it's funny sometimes they just sit on the ground, with their homemade drink in a leftover Coca-Cola bottle. Right? Yeah, exactly. And just drink in public space. I think it's in these culture, of course, climate and all that stuff is even more common than here. But even this marineterrein, I think in summer, it's like flooded with people just sitting there next to the water and jumping into the water.
Yeah.
And that's great to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's also important to know this is actually private grounds, but it feels like a public space because of its inviting environment. And people are totally drawn here.
One thing I want to drop on as well is that, just because I did some research on your website, is you also do a lot of things or organize events, for example, like a language exchange thing, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I saw that. Was that coffee and croissantjes?
Yeah, exactly.
Coffee and croissants?
I say inclusion and gezelligheid.
Yeah, inclusion and gezelligheid. It immediately turned a smile on my face because, sure, we can talk about placemaking, about spaces, but these kind of events where you actually pair a Dutchie to someone who wants to learn Dutch is also an activation that helps actually bring people to a space or place.
Yeah, and exactly, and also the location is always in some type of public space to
Yeah.
make sure there's no barriers for entry and this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's people that want to learn Dutch and speak with people, and there's people that want to talk Dutch, and I think it's
Yeah.
whenever we have these meetups, we just had the last one a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And
Are you still? Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
so you're
yeah,
still doing.
so it's
Cool.
still going on, yeah.
Nice.
And we have our WhatsApp group as well, so it's like even if some right now it's even at the point where people are like, okay, shall we do maybe Sunday, and for me, that's the best kind of
When they self-organize.
exactly, yeah. And we'll pick a place together and go from there. But yeah, I started that because I'm also learning Dutch. I'm at B2 level now, so it's actually niet slecht.
Niet slecht. Nice.
But also, just to create sort of the connection between people,
Yeah.
and also help aid with the social anxiety of making language mistakes, so whenever
You're allowed to make mistakes.
You're allowed to make mistakes, and we know as a group that someone's going to be talking and there's going to be a bunch of grammar mistakes, but actually we can all kind of still understand what the person's trying to say.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose was to create like an environment where people feel comfortable.
A safe space.
Yes. Make mistakes. Fouten.
What is it?
Fouten?
Fouten?
Ja.
Ja.
Fouten zijn goed.
Ja.
Ja.
Fouten maken is goed.
Ja.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love that. Sorry, I just can't help but to spot that and address it because, for one, you're not Dutchy. You come here. You're dating a Dutch
Yep.
person. But still, you come up with the idea to, or was it a secret? Did you date a Dutch person?
Oh.
Sorry, I was like,
It's okay.
I was like throwing it in there. I'm like, sorry, not sorry. No, but I mean, yeah, I can imagine that. Say, I would now today move to Spain, and then I would come up with the idea to organize a Spanish language exchange event. Yeah, I think that's, remarkable that you do something like that. I would not even think of it. Probably maybe only for my own benefit, but then you would seek a teacher or whatever. But then surround yourself with like-minded people who are stuck in a language, deficit, and helps. You also help others to learn the language. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks for bringing that up, because that did come from a sort of like when we talk about placemaking and gathering the needs of the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and kind of gathered the needs of people in my Dutch class.
Okay.
And this topic of trying to have regular conversations with people, and that fear of making mistakes and that kind of stuff is really what drove the idea forward. And yes, it's still going. So if anybody's watching and wanting to practice their Dutch, then let us know.
Yeah, sign up. Sign up for inclusion and
Gezelligheid.
gezelligheid. Very good. That's the first word that you need to learn in Dutch culture.
No pressure.
Is gezelligheid. And then you take it from there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes I facilitate the conversations with games, and sometimes we just have casual
Croissants.
croissants.
Casual croissants. No, I think that's really cool. Really cool. Whenever I'm around, I'm happy to share a bit of Dutch as a Dutchie, some Dutch knowledge. Very cool. And it's easy when it's you think also you feel a necessity to learn the language, of course, which is also very important. You also feel that you're gonna stay around for quite some time in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
You're not you're planning going anywhere else.
For me personally, it's like as long as I'm happy, I feel like I'm in the right place and things are going well, then I just kind of go with the flow, I guess. Like, why leave if it's
Okay.
going well, I guess.
So how would you define a good place for yourself?
A good place for me is a safe place. So I would say, like, for me, I'm a nature lover. I love being outdoors. So a park is a park that has, proper lighting and, seating, comfortable seating, and has a little bit more of like an open type of environment and not so many enclosed spaces. I think that makes a safe space and therefore a good place.
Yeah.
It's a place that is accessible, easily accessible, welcoming for children, for seniors. A place that has programming is a bonus, I would say.
Programming as in
For example, a music performance or a stage or something like that, or maybe it's even up to the public to, or maybe somebody's a yoga teacher and they want to put on neighborhood yoga lessons on Sunday mornings. I think that's an added layer.
you take part in those.
Oh yes,
Wow, that's good.
I'm active in those kind of.
So
drop in.
you're conscious about what's happening in your surrounding and you take part.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah. Maybe people should do that more often.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, it's hard to determine if there's sometimes it'll be online, like an event or something like that, and then you have to really be on it to see, okay, something's happening on this day, this location.
But still, where? Like a neighborhood website or WhatsApp group or
It's actually, you know what? I know it's a little bit dated, but like a lot of people still use Facebook for these kind of neighborhood postings.
I'm no longer on Facebook. That's why I missed the salsa lessons in my park. Yeah.
Oh, that's another great thing. So you brought it up. I love seeing people dance in public space. I love it. I love it,
We should dance more.
We should. Actually, here, the guys at Rowboat, there's like an electric ferry boat.
Okay.
They have a floating DJ booth here.
Oh.
And earlier was in, I think, the fall last year. They had a DJ on the water floating here, and it was just all of a sudden everybody was just dancing, and that really made my day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like those.
Yeah, or even more pop-up dance floors, just like even by making a space more colorful or
even if it's silent disco, doesn't matter.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we should organize one.
Yeah, sure. I'm in.
Call it the Good Place Club.
Yeah.
Disco. The Good Place Disco.
Yes. Perfect.
Good Place Disco. Yeah. Okay, guys. Watch your space. We're like this is the brainstorm episode. Yeah, very cool. So you would say you're in a good place?
I'm in a good place. I mean, look, we're in a good place. We're
literally
so lucky to be here having this conversation casually on a Monday afternoon in this green area. What more can you really ask for? We got our tea.
Yeah, it was delicious, by the way. That makes me also a bit more realize where we are and what we're doing right now. Yeah. So I think that's, yeah, being present is also sometimes being in a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Oh.
When you're in a
That's not part of this. No, just kidding.
no, but when you're in a public space and walking around, do you reflect on that? Like, are you more thinking about other things that are going around? For example, if you're going to take a stroll through a park, are you also thinking, okay, I'm present here, walking through on this dirt path and seeing dogs play, or are you more thinking outward? I'm just curious.
No, no, this is good.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, I think the latter, as in either I have a dog, and I walk the dog regularly, but then I'm listening up to a podcast, and stuck in thoughts about life or what's next. I'm quite somebody who thinks. I'm quite a thinker. So I can also cut myself into these thoughts and suddenly do around, and I'm like, what would I do? Did I just do? Okay, I walked the dog. Good. So that happens, but I have to say that whenever I have my camera as a photographer, especially during the pandemic, I always took out my camera every day, and that's really my tool to become present, because I'm seeking, constantly looking, and that makes me really connect with my surrounding more. So that's why I love also street photography and so on, to really make me more connect with my fellow citizen and my surrounding.
Yeah, exactly. I remember seeing some of those photos that you took during the pandemic with people.
Yeah,
Their
and
legs
creating,
outside their windows. And
yeah, and creating those series, and
yeah, very cool.
but always seeking that little smile.
Yeah.
That it's something that hopefully shares a smile with somebody else, and that's something I still do, not as regular as well as I would love to. But even if it's the same round you do every day with your dog, take your camera out.
Yeah.
Because then you do both.
Yeah.
It's a bit harder with the dog who's always pulling leash to take a good photo. So, but he gets used to it. I've done photo walks with my dog as well. Yeah, it's not as comfortable, but you get there.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do
Imagine.
admit I need that tool to be a dog helped me to go out more, of course. So that's good. But my camera is something I need more to really connect with my surrounding.
Yeah. I think everybody can find the tool that works for them, right?
For sure. Absolutely.
Even I think Headspace has a walking in nature
Oh,
or
yeah?
like walking in the city meditation. So you're walking, you don't have to close your eyes for this one. But yeah, sort of that's a tool that helps me a lot actually to be present in a certain space.
Yeah, it's good. Saying hi, to make it a sport to say hi on the streets. These
Yeah.
kind of little tactics, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Makes you also more connect with your surrounding. And yeah, I mean, sitting on public benches in the past also been a place for me to write, to think, to listen to music.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny sometimes when I'm listening to music, you kind of forget you're in a public space.
When you start singing?
Yeah, you start kind of.
Who's that girl singing in Ulster Park?
She's really involved in public park activities.
Okay.
I'm under the gazebo there
How are your
on
singing
Saturdays.
skills? You've not been kicked out yet.
No.
All right, good. So when you hear this woman singing in the park, could be Kristen.
Yeah, skipping through.
Hilarious. This is that sentence I was telling you about, which is the cue about, okay, we're at the end of our interview, conversation. It's more a conversation, right?
Yeah.
That means I'm going to ask you to think about something that you would like to share with listeners or viewers. For me, in the meantime, I'm going to ask everyone to subscribe and follow our channels, whether it's on YouTube, Spotify, Apple or Google Podcasts. It would mean the world if we get more followers and reach more people, because that also leads to more conversations. people reaching out saying, hey, I would love to share a bench with you and share my story. Okay, cool. I'm up for it. Wherever you are. Happy to meet you and yeah, learn. I've learned a lot in this conversation.
Great.
And I hope you as well, that we all should be a bit more as well present in the spaces we are and look for more of these kind of empty spaces and, give it some more meaning and invite people along the way to come and celebrate your birthday somewhere in a park. Why not? Actually, I celebrated my daughter's first birthday in a park because, too many people to invite and to the little home to live in. So, and it worked.
Perfect. That's I think one of the best things you can do in a public space is bring people together there and celebrate. Yeah.
And then we are gonna add some music to the mix and make it a disco. You got something to share to close off?
Yeah. So
Can be short. Can be
I would
long.
say get outside. Get outside. I mean, here in the Netherlands, sometimes, people are complaining about the weather, complaining about the rain, and, there's things you can do that, are actually really nice for your mental well-being and just being present, whatever the weather is, and maybe you'll meet somebody under a covered bus shelter bench.
I like that. Yeah. And make mistakes, right?
Make mistakes. Please. Alsjeblieft.
Alsjeblieft. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank
See
you.
you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.